All right. Hey, everyone. I am so happy to be back in front of you. The last time Kristopher, Aaron, my health coach, and I were together, we talked about a lot of stuff. And one of the things we mentioned was that we are going to start 2 years of Raw January 2024. And so many of you called me, texted me. I saw you in person. You were asking me about what that looks like, telling me you want to join the journey, but you feel nervous about it. And I get it. So I reached out to the wonderful Kristopher Aaron, again, my health coach, my health sensei, and asked him if he wouldn't mind having another conversation with us about what it means to go raw and how you can do it successfully and kind of take away some of your fears and your concerns. So that's what this is going to be about. This recording will be about for you guys. So Kristopher, thank you so much for agreeing to come back and have a conversation with me about the raw life and the power of the raw life.
Thank you for having me, Angel. Appreciate it. It's my pleasure. It's my
Oh,
pleasure.
absolutely. You know what? I just can't say enough good about you and the fact that our conversation sparked conversations in other people. So I think that speaks volumes as to people wanting to be healthy, wanting to live good,
Yes.
good lives. So
Yeah.
let's just jump right in. Can you talk a little bit about what it means to be raw? I know you did it. Can you first of all talk about when you were raw, totally raw, how long you were raw, and what made you decide to go raw?
Those are great questions. Great questions. And yes, to answer your question, I first went raw January 1st of 2009.
Okay.
And I was raw for 3 years, from 2009, 2010, and all of 2011 into 2012.
Okay.
It was one of the most magical, transformative things I've ever experienced, Angel. And the reason what it does is that it just makes you ultra aware, brings you close to the God. It gives you new eyes to see and hear and understand. It
Okay.
raises your vibrational frequency. It takes you out of the world, and into a different sort of dimension, if you will. Because it's our raw is our original food design.
Mm.
I believe it's creators, God's original intent for man.
Okay.
When we get into cooking or when we get into eating certain things, it sort of leads us down a different, it changes sort of our nature from cooperative to competitive.
Ooh.
There's a lot of factors that come in. And when I went raw back in the day, it was so different. It's easier now because more things are out and available. But back then, the energy for being all raw was then. It's not the same now, but it was then back then. But only very few people is even aware about raw food or anything like that. People are more aware now, but still a lot of people still not aware. But it was just a different energy back then.
Okay. Okay.
And
So go ahead. Please go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, I think it's a journey. It
Okay.
is a frequency. It's a vibrational frequency. It's a commitment to self-love. It's a commitment. It's a discipline. It is a discipline because you're gonna have to say no to worldly things and say yes. You're gonna have to sort of walk in the spirit and choose only what's best for you for a period of time, and not you have to go against the world. You're gonna have to be a disciple, one that's disciplined to choose only the best, even if it's for a short period of time. 2 years, a short period of time. These 2 years are gonna fly by quick, and it's a blessing because it's like you've been chosen. You're becoming like a Jedi Knight, a superhero to get out of the world. I mean, how many people have that opportunity to do so, where you can eat the best food on the planet for us and see how your body reacts to that for an extended period of time,
Okay.
and then, but yeah.
So, you of course, you always, every response you have, every comment you have is power packed. So the reason that you say that I think we just kind of recapping from before, it raises your vibration is because you don't have are you saying that cooked food somehow stunts or diminishes your energy?
It does, without question. And the only way you're gonna really know that is by going a period of time on nothing but raw. Like go 3 months eating nothing but fruits and veggies, raw fruits and veggies, and then bring in something cooked and see how and watch how you sort of just drop your it just things change. It's like the mucus starts coming back. You start getting your immune system, you start getting sick again. It's just it's really eye-opening when you do it, if a person do it. But I got to tell you this, Angel, when people want to go down this path, it's something you have to really want for yourself, not because anybody else wants it, or simply because if you don't really want it, you're going to be swayed by the world. You're going to get around your friends and your family, and you're going to see them eating all the things that you love or previously loved, and you're going to be like, man, I want some of that. But then that tells me a person's not ready. Because when I went raw, Angel, you could have took me around all my old favorite spots of eating, and it didn't affect me. I wanted the raw food. I wanted to be raw. I wanted to be around. I went to all I spent most of my time was in raw food restaurants when they were around back in the day. They're not really around anymore like they were. And that's step one. Going raw or going on the studio is something you have to really want, and you have to choose self-love over instant gratification or comfort.
Okay, so you said, and I have so many questions. I'm gonna try to kind of not bounce around on you, but you
Yeah.
said that there aren't as many raw food restaurants today as there were. What are we talking about?
14, 15 years ago. Most of them have gone away, gone on, but it was like a wave that came. Because
Yeah.
back then there was Planet Raw, there was Rawvolution, there was Karen's Raw, there was Borrowed Earth, there was Cousins. There was just so many in the city. We had 3 or 4 100% raw in the city. None of them are around anymore. They're all been replaced by vegan restaurants, but they're not 100% raw.
Okay, so if you don't have that to
Right.
support you in your community wherever you live, because a lot of people across the country see these videos, how does a person prepare to go raw? I know one of the things is joining your group, the group that we're going to start on January 1st, to get the
Yes.
encouragement, to get the support, all of those things. But if between the meetups that you'll schedule, how does
Yes.
a person go? How does a person stay raw?
It's very simple. You got to do it all. You got to do it. Me and everybody who's really in this, who's done anything in this lifestyle, has done. You
Okay.
got to read the books. There are so many great books, and I normally recommend my top 10 books to get when you're ready to go raw. And these are and I've read most of them probably 15, 20 times or more.
Okay.
That's how I've read most of these books over and over again, and there's some books 500, 600 pages. Um, you got to read the books. Or all the raw restaurants haven't gone. There's still some out there. And so you find the ones that are in your area, or you may have to go to a vegan restaurant, and they normally have raw options, and you just do it there. Or you just go on YouTube, follow Fully Raw Christina, or all the other people who are into this lifestyle. I highly recommend Christina or the Fully Raw app. Download the Fully Raw app, so there's a zillion recipes, and then you can create your own recipes and salad dressing, because when you go raw, you got to make your own condiments, you got to make your own barbecue sauce, you got to make your own mayonnaise, mustard, everything, your toothpaste, everything that's commercial that you normally have to buy, you get to make your own. And so you don't get all the chemicals, you don't get all the beelzebub. It's a lifestyle of purity. And again, I believe it's God's original intent for us. And at some point, we're gonna get back to the raw, because that's where the enzymes are. That's where the biophotons are. That's where the chlorophyll is. That's where the fiber is. And Angel, that's where the life is. And
Right.
at least in my experience.
Okay, well, you know what, guys? I want to if I don't want to be really honest, I'm ready for this, and we've talked a lot about this, so I'm expecting everything that you said. But for those of you who are watching this, I don't want you to feel like, oh my goodness, and I can't even
I
do it.
can't do it
I
right.
can't do it. So I want to just kind of put a pin in everything that you're saying and say a couple of things. I have a ton of raw recipes myself, and I will be sharing those with you. Kristopher has agreed to do some cooking demonstrations with me, so you guys be prepared for that. We're going to do a bunch of stuff in our kitchen, my kitchen, so that you all can see that it is not just salad.
Right.
I can't. I'm telling you, I probably have recipes that I've collected that are on single sheets of paper that probably this thick, because and it's not hard. And you think, oh, how am I going to do it? And it's really, I want you to know that it's not. Don't be put off by, oh my goodness, I got to read 100 books. I haven't read any books. I will, but I'm that person that's totally transparent. I have not. One of my guilty pleasures is I get online and I look up raw recipes when I in my downtime, or when I just want to veg out. So I've got a lot of recipes. They're not difficult. Don't be put off by, oh my goodness, I can't do it if I don't read the books. Oh my goodness, I can't do it if I can't find a restaurant that will take care of me while I'm out, or I can't do it because I will get tired of salad. There's so much you can enjoy that goes
Yeah.
far beyond a salad. Yeah, salads are gonna be really good, and you can make them exciting, and it's not going to just be lettuce and spinach and carrots and and red onion and tomatoes. It's not going to be that romaine lettuce salad that you get in the restaurant. You can have fun being raw. So a couple of things. There are some equipment that
Yeah.
that you want to get that would support your raw journey. And you don't have to get it all at once. Ease your way into it. So, Kristopher, can you just say a couple of things that you would say if a person is going to jump off, even if they're going to just do 3 months? What are the top 3 or 5 pieces of equipment that you would suggest a person have?
It's a good question. Number one, you need a high-speed blender. A high-speed blender. The 3 options that I always say, and these are the 3. I would go with these 3 options. Number 1 would be a Vitamix. Number 2 would be a Blendtec.
Okay.
Or number 3 would be a Nama C2. A Nama C2 because it's 2-in-1, but the Nama's motor in their blender is on the same level as Vitamix and Blendtec. So those are really the 3 options of blender. This is what you need. This is a must-have. Okay, and look at it sort of like as an investment. You're investing in your health, and you're becoming your own physician. And this is going to allow you to avoid what I call the white coats, or having to be on pharmaceutical meds for a good portion of your life. So the 3 most important investments that I would start with is a high-speed blender, and those are the 3. Then I would go with a slow cold press juicer. A slow cold press juicer. You need in my opinion, if I have to choose, I'm going with the Nama J2 or C2 juicer. In my opinion, it's the best that I've ever owned, and this is where everybody in the health community, they're gonna tell you to get a Nama, and that's what NAMA, a Nama juicer.
Okay.
And then the third piece of equipment that I would say, okay, if I had to go, what would be number 3? I guess even before the dehydrator, I would go with the spiralizer, simply because some point you're probably going to want to make your own spaghetti pasta, or and you can just run some zucchini or some squash or some cucumbers through a spiralizer to get your noodles and things of that nature.
Okay.
So those would be my top 3 outside of the ceramic knives, because you're really going to want some really good knives and some bamboo bowls to put the stuff in. But because I will say this, piggybacking on what Angel said, in this lifestyle, the salad, in the sort of, I don't say a worldly, in a traditional lifestyle, the salad is like the side note. It's like a little appetite. Girl, eat your little salad, and then we're going to get to the main meal. But in the raw food lifestyle, the salad is the centerpiece. Everything revolves around the salad. And the key to a great salad is a really good salad dressing and just some creativity. You rotate your greens. You could do 1,000 things. with it. And the reason why salads gets and smoothies and salads get so much because you can put so much goodness in smoothies and put so much goodness in salads. So you're getting bombarded with good soluble fiber,
Yeah.
so it's going to overcome any constipation issues. You're going to get all the biophotons, all the chlorophyll, and all the goodness. And so those would be my top three, Angel.
Okay, and I will put the information in the feed and the comments on those three so you don't have to try to
Yeah,
go back and write that stuff down. It'll be in the feed, the name and the model
yeah,
number of what you recommended.
yes. And it's the best. You're not going to get any higher than what I gave you is the best, and that's what you want. That's what 100% what I would go with. Go
Okay.
right.
And guys, we do have a Vitamix, we do have a dehydrator, we do have a spiralizer, but that stuff really is not that expensive. The Nama, you might be getting into a few $100s, but you're again investing in yourself. Vitamix, we know, is several $100s, probably less than the Nama, but again, you are investing in yourself. So it is going to pay for itself 1,000 times over once you decide to make that investment. And then we'll share recipes with you. But you mentioned something about you're going to be looking at eliminating constipation. A few of the people that I've talked to have talked about the reason they are even interested in this in the first place is for the health benefits, healing what ails them currently. So can you talk a little bit about what a person can expect to feel besides higher vibration and getting closer to God, which is everything, but how does going raw, what does that do for your body? Can we look at healing issues
Yeah.
that, for instance, have been long-standing?
Yes. 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 Angel, number one, you're gonna have more energy than you ever had in your life. You're gonna have more energy. You're probably gonna require maybe four. If you're fully raw, you might require 5 hours of sleep a night before you're up and ready to go again. It's
And how long
like that.
does it take this for all
Yes,
this stuff to kick in?
yes. And if you're fully raw and don't eat any and don't interrupt those enzymes, see the enzymes have that chain of enzymes has to be unbroken.
Okay.
That's what healing is. And for healing to come. And I don't care what you got. If you got hepatitis, if you got diabetes, type 2 diabetes, hyperglycemia, if you got cancer, any heart issues, stop cooking your food. You go a year or 2 years on nothing but raw. I'm going to say at the end of 2 years, if not 100%, at least 95% of your health issues are going to be gone. You're going to rebuild new bones. It takes about 2 years to get new bones. The number one food for bones is celery. If you look at a piece of celery, it looks just like our bones, snaps just like our bone. Our bones have 21 minerals. Celery has 21 minerals. It's the favorite food of the gorilla. Okay. It takes 28 days. Every 28 days, we get new skin. Every 91 days, we get a new bloodstream. So you're going to slowly but surely rebuild. But when you're in that rebuilding, in that purging process, the enzymes have to be unbroken. So you can't say, I'm going to have a lot of raw food and eat some cooked, or I'm going to have this piece of fish. You're going to break up healing has to be unbroken. But once you're healed, and you get into what we call the maintenance phase, then you can start bringing in some of those old things that you may have enjoyed. But the problem is you probably won't enjoy them anymore because you got a whole new point of reference and a whole new, so you may not go back to those old foods after you've been raw for a long enough period. You're not going to want to go back. I guarantee anybody, and real quick, you got the mic, Angel. I guarantee anybody, you go raw for 2 years, you are going to heal 98% of your hell, I don't care what you got, okay? And you're gonna heal 98%, at least 90, really 100%, but I'm just gonna say 98% of any health ailment you got, known or unknown, latent or expressed. You're gonna heal it. And that's the promise of raw food and getting back to it. So because you're no longer eating processed foods. You're no longer eating all the starches that produces the carbonic acid. You're no longer doing all the dairy which produces the lactic acid, and you're no longer beelzebubing with the meats and fish and chicken which produces um what's the uric acid? Uric acid. Those are the three main acids. We got uric acid, lactic acid, and what we call carbonic acid. Probably the number one comfort of the comfort foods are the starches, rice, potatoes, French fries, all those chips that you Beelzebub on. So that's what it is. And when you're raw, you're not getting that. And when you're raw, you're not eating any of those condiments or getting those oils or canola oils and those hidden things they put in all the processed foods. And like I told you before, whenever you get anything that you have to read read the label. The front of the package is for entertainment. The back of the package is for education. The front is for entertainment. The back is for education.
But
Always
that's not going to be something we're going to even deal with because you're not going to have any packages on your raw fruit and vegetables, right?
right.
So that's
So you just
we'll get to that after the 2 years, or after you go back.
yes, right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically you're just doing fruits, you're doing veggies, you're doing nuts, seeds, you're doing superfoods, you're doing herbs, you're doing mushrooms. You got 25 major categories of food that you can choose from. And there's over 500 varieties of avocado. There's a zillion varieties of apple. So you're not going to get bored or you're not going to do anything. You just nothing but and you never have to count calories. You don't have to you can freely eat because you're eating from the garden of life. And how do you know it's life? Simple. Enzymes is what it's all about. It's all about biophotons and enzymes. That's how you know. And most people don't eat like that. Most people eat dead food, eat dead Beelzebub foods, and their health says it. They're taking medication. Their stomach says it. They no longer have a flat stomach because in our world people just don't. And it's important. This is the promise of raw food, to give you your health back, to maintain your health, and to give you your body back, to maintain your body so you can look great naked. People don't want to hear it. I know you don't, but I gotta get some support. But go ahead.
Everybody wants to hear that. Everybody wants to look as good as they possibly can naked.
Yes, whether you admit it or not. But yes, that's the promise.
People, you know what? Most people, they'll admit it, and maybe not to us, but who doesn't want to look like they did when they were 18 or whatever, if they were looking good at 18. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't look good at 18 because everybody is eating garbage and has grown up on garbage. But that's aside. You said, so you always say a lot. One of the first things that I want to mention is that you indicated that pretty much, and some of us probably have heard this, that you get a whole new body in about 3 years. Everything kind of comes back: your hair, your skin, your nails, your muscles, your bones, everything regenerates. And how long does it take to get a whole new body?
7 years to build from the basement all the way to the crown. But that's at 100% level.
Okay.
And with some fasting in between it, because you're in that detox build mode. You're stripping, you're building. You're stripping, you're building. It took Solomon 7 years to build the temple, his body. And that's how long it takes us to build. Now we're going from the basement all the way up to the crown, to upper room is what they call it.
7 years.
But yes, of raw material with fasting, where you strip and then you build. Fruits are the cleansers, vegetables are the builders.
Okay, but most of what ails most of us can be healed in about 3 years of raw.
Really, I would say 2 years fully raw will take care of almost everybody's whatever they're ailing. Okay, and you say, well, I'm stage 4 cancer or whatever. You go 2 years 100% raw, and then you come back and let the doctors test you up and everything, and let me make it a balanced raw food diet with some wild herbs, some green and some medicinal mushrooms and things, and you tell me.
Okay, couple of things. We got to put our disclaimer in here. We're not medical doctors. The AMA is not going to find this video
I'm not a doctor
and come knocking on our door. So we are not saying start doing raw.
Right.
You got to build. If you have prostate cancer, just go raw and forget your doctor. We are not saying that, y'all. You have to use your own discretion. You have to use your own judgment. You have to go into your own prayer closet and get your answers for how you should move forward. But being raw, eating the food that builds, you can't go wrong. Even if you are still doing what your doctor told you to do, you cannot go wrong. We know that sugar is poison and it's addictive for a reason because it hits what does it is it endorphin, serotonin, one of those. It wakes you up and it makes you feel good. You can feel
Dopamine.
good.
Dopamine.
Dopamine, thank you. But
Yeah.
so people are addicted to it. And I know people who have cancer and won't stop eating sugar. And we know that sugar feeds
The
cancer
answer,
cells,
it
right?
does. Yes, yes,
Okay, so if a person is that has a situation I just talked about, has been diagnosed, can't stop eating sugar, can they get that sugar fix, if you will, with fruit and still be okay, better than
yes,
that
yes,
raw white, I mean that white sugar?
yes,
Much
yes.
better option.
That's the purpose of fruit. One of the purposes, our body runs on glucose. One of the purposes of fruit is for our sweet tooth. Sweet tooth, eat a bunch of grapes. That's gonna take your or any other sweet. Yes,
Okay.
yes, and eat as much as you desire.
So
And
don't
I
feel
would say,
deprived.
don't feel
You don't have to
deprived.
feel deprived.
Right. And
Go ahead, please, by all means.
Angel, I would say, I say, well, yeah, you put the disclaimer in, but I would just tell people what I would do. There's no way in hell would I, if I had any, if I ever, Chris, you got struck with cancer. Are you going to the doctor? I would never go to a doctor. I would only use doctors for trauma. If I got shot or if I got a rattlesnake bites me or some traumatic like that, then go to the doctor. But as far as healing, I would never. I'm just talking about me. I'm not saying what anybody else can do. I would never go to a doctor for anything when it comes to healing because they're not. Most doctors simply are not trained. They haven't been trained in nutrition. They don't understand how the body works. They don't, and all you have to do is walk in the cafeteria and that at a hospital, and it'll tell you everything you need to know. And when people go to the hospital, they don't go to necessarily heal. And I, I, I just couldn't because it's not in whether I'm not saying they perfectly do it, but it's not in their financial interest to have a bunch of healed people because if everybody was healed, then they're out of business. And this is I'm just telling you what me you could do the disclaimer, but if I ever was stricken with any type of scenario, the last place I want to go is a hospital or see any doctor. That would be the absolute last place. I'd actually want somebody to throw me out in the wilderness and I'm gonna do what Nebuchadnezzar did and just hang out there he did 7 years and came back because he had no choice but to eat what was out there, the best of the best, to get him back in his right, to humble him and get him back in his right frame of mind. I'm sorry, Angel, go back.
No, you did good stuff. And you know what I think about when you're talking about that is most doctors are in bed with the dope pushers.
Yes, yes.
And the dope pushers that the big pharma
Yes.
is pushing dope legally, and
Yes.
on the street are pushing dope. Both, and one is to make you feel better or whatever, and the other one is supposedly big pharma supposed to be there to make you feel better. One is legal, one is illegal. You going to jail. These maybe should go to jail too, but that's another conversation for a different day. But they're both dope pushers, and doctors have, right or wrong, knowingly or unknowingly, they've gotten in bed with the dope pushers, right? So use some discernment and some discretion when and they tell you, yeah, your headache is gonna be gone, but your arm is gonna fall off, but your headache is gone. So look at the downside. The downside is often much more significant than, now I don't have migraines, but I'm at risk of a heart attack or a stroke. What?
Angel, I was just watching the movie the other day and a commercial came on TV and it was for this drug called Shingrix. It was for shingles, new shingles drug they got out, right?
Cancer, yeah.
Yeah, and they said, well, if you're over 50, you need to take this drug. And the commercial listed, they said about 10, 15 side effects in the commercial. Well, if you take this drug, but they're saying everybody over 50, usually if you don't want to get shingles. And just things like that are why most people are like, because they got commercials coming. It's legal in our country. And if you're not conscious or if you don't know, then you're going to fall for that. You're going to go with that. You're going to, let me go get my shingles shot. or let me get the drug that they got out because I may get it or whatever. But
And
that's not how you
think about shingles, and most other ailments are oftentimes the underlying factor is stress. When you learn to control your stress and meditate and do your power mations and all the things we always talk about, you're gonna reduce your stress, right? So if you reduce your stress, you can take the more and you change your diet, like Kristopher is telling us. The possibility of getting shingles is next to nothing, and you didn't take all these drugs to combat something that you just gotta take take care of yourself, love yourself enough to meditate and eat some good food, right?
Right. You know, stress is the number one killer.
If your phone is not ringing, it don't concern you.
Right.
Right? So anyway, a couple other things, because I know your time is important. So heal's about 98% of what ails you if you commit and dedicate yourself to being fully raw for 2 times 365, which is 700 and some odd days.
720, technically 728. We're looking at 104 weeks.
Okay.
That's 728 days.
Okay. So we can do this, guys, because that's not forever. Think of how long you've been on the planet doing everything you want, and now you're trying to deal with these issues. Okay, I have a dear girlfriend said, my metabolism is in the toilet. I said, go raw, you'll wake it back up. But can you speak to that? People say, I just cannot. I've cut my calories. I'm working out a little bit more, but I'm not losing the weight. And they tell you that when you get a certain age, your metabolism is in the basement. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Absolutely. Again, it's autoimmune. It's diet related. The reason why your metabolism going, especially if you're a woman over 50, your hormones are going, and guys, they go the other way with the prostate. Here's the reason: because your body, you've been on. It's like our body is a house, and just like an old house, we have so many pipes and old things. And if you have never cleansed this vessel before, which most people haven't, they've never done a 40-day water fast or 40-day juice fast. So your pipes are like our body is like a house. It really is a house. And if we're not stripping and upgrading and going through, since we have an old house, it's gonna be creaking after somewhat. So we have to break it down and rebuild it and give it only the things that it requires, and not undermine our efforts with processed food, with Doritos, with Starbucks.
Yeah.
We're going to undermine it. So we have to use, that's where we have to be disciples and use discipline for a period of time and say no to those things that don't add to our end goal.
So a person's metabolism, that fire can be relit.
It'll fire the metabolism. Yeah, no matter how old you are, it's going to fire you. It's going to bring you right back to your center point. You can be 90 or whatever it is. However old you are, you just have to be willing to make the change, do it the right way, and plan. Like you got to plan it, commit, and put yourself first in what you're trying to do, because here are the obstacles. Almost nobody else on planet Earth is going to be doing it. Everybody else is going to be doing what they're doing, and you can't let that affect you and your commitment. So when you get around your family, you can't judge your family for not supporting you or doing what they're doing, or your spouse or your kids or whatever. This has to be something personal for you, something that you feel sort of led to, something you want to do for yourself.
And who doesn't feel led? Well, some people don't. Some people, I heard some people say, I've got to die from something. But if you feel led to be healed, you're going to get a lot of support on this channel, because that's what we're going to be about. And we'll talk, and we can talk about this for hours on end, but we'll talk about how do you prepare leading up to January 1st? How do you prepare for that? How do you take your own food? I'm heading to Memphis in a couple of days. I'm going to be prepared with some of my own food, so I can make sure that I am not sitting there starving while everybody else is sucking on rib tips or whatever. No judgment. Do what you do, but I got to be prepared so that I can walk my walk. So we'll talk more about that again leading up to January. Then Chris is going to have a support group, if you will, you
Yeah.
want to call it that way, call it
Yes.
or a meetup, so that every now and then you can kind of get new recipes, you can hear what other people are doing. When the weather breaks, we're going to do a field trip. We're going to forage, so you can see what it's like to get out and get some food that's free out in the world. Chris has, I don't know, 25 different, at least 25 different raw salad dressings, and he'll start to share those. And as he shares them with me, I'll share them with you, or we'll talk about them. You will have everything you need if you want to take this journey. You talk, okay, so metabolism can be refired. That engine, that
Yeah.
furnace can be refired. I have another dear friend who has a tumor, and she has had it for a long time, and it's pressing on a nerve that's creating some problems for her. The doctors have not been able to bring that under control. Is this something, can raw food deal with something like that?
100%. Yes. Let me give you that. There's three that we call it fast, faster, faster. In the world of healing, to heal this body, this is how you do it. And this is the only way. Fast, faster, fastest.
Okay.
A fast way to heal the body is just to eat 100% fully raw. For however long it takes. If it takes a year, if it takes 2 years, just eat nothing but raw food. Eventually you will heal.
Okay.
A faster way to heal would be to drink the juices, to go on, drink nothing but water and live juices. Live juices.
Oh,
Just juices, going to juice fast alone. I
oh.
know some people, I'm sorry?
For how long to heal?
As long as it
As
takes.
long as
There's a one lady that just, she juice fasted for a year on you. She had all these issues and healed everything. I got to send you that video,
and
Angel.
I'll share
And
it.
and the fastest way, obviously, to heal the human body is to go on a water fast. Faster. The fastest way is just to go on a water fast. You're gonna heal.
And if
Then,
you go, let me just put another caveat in there. If you are, okay, well, I want to heal the fastest and I'm going to go on a water fast. Kristopher is a coach. I'm a coach in other areas. I know a lot about healing, but not nearly what the sensei knows. If you want to go on a water fast, I would not recommend that you do it by yourself. You need to get in touch with Kristopher. His information is on the last video. I will put it on this one and you can share it as well. It's not for punks. I did a 42-day fast with you. You gotta get your mind right, and you have to have the support. You have to know how to do it. You gotta know how to start it. You gotta know how to be in it, and you gotta know how to come out of it, because you don't want to, come out of a water fast for how many ever days and with a bowl of potato chips. You will be sick. So I'll make sure, and I just want to put our caveats in there, because I want you guys to be healthy, and I don't want you to do something because, oh, this sounds great, and I want more energy, and then you get sick, and then you stop altogether. So you gotta take the steps. There's a process, right?
yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
One more question for you, and I want you, but I'm a skater, and for all my skate buddies out there, we all talk about, oh, I got skate buddies who don't skate at all anymore because their knees hurt. I've got other friends out there who have had knee replacements. I've got other friends that, that get, all of those things. So can you talk a little bit about, as we age, my back hurt, and I went to the doctor and she said everybody has osteo, whatever, however you pronounce it, arthritis. She said, you got a little, I'm like, I can't, so I don't want to hear that. But will raw food help with joints?
Yes, that's a good question. It absolutely will help with joints by not only through alkalizing and bringing the right materials, but I think it's so funny. I think the most important thing is not what you're bringing in, it's what you're no longer bringing in. Things that are calcifying those joints in the first place, and bringing the mucus and the calcification and the rust and all that stuff in. That's all the processed stuff. You won't be getting any processed stuff when you're on the raw. So it's what we're not bringing in that's really going to do the trick. Okay, and of course, obviously, there's some supplements that are really good for the joints, like MSM is a great supplement for joints. You can do pine pollen. You can get into the chlorella and things of that nature. Cilantro is really good for heavy metals. Rosemary is so good for cognitive function, our brain, you know, purple cabbage, brain food, walnuts, brain food, heart food, apples, you know, all these major organs. What's number one for pancreas? Sweet potato. Sweet potatoes look just like our pancreas. Avocado looks just like a woman's cervix, and it takes 9 months to go from seed to ripen, just like women go from. And if you look at an avocado seed, it looks just like a woman's pregnant stomach, you know. And there's so many signs of nature with the foods for each of our organs, and the key is we just got to eat the foods and eat a wide variety of foods so we can get, or you know, and we got to eat them. We can't keep going past the produce section or going in there and getting a few things that we normally get. We got to take advantage of all the produce so we can get everything that we need, and we don't have any deficiencies, and we can build our body and our house, because like I said, our body back in the day, the ancients, they compared our body to a house. It was a house.
We live, so it is a house, right?
It's a
It's where we
house,
live. Yeah.
and it's mouse with many pipes, and we have to strip it from time to time to keep it clean. That's why Jesus did a 40-day fast, because there was no other way to overcome the Beelzebub, or the evil that lurks within us. We enter into God's kingdom by overcoming Satan. That's what it was back in the day, the darkness within us. And then we rebuild on the things that God put here for us. And you know.
Well, you are just a walking encyclopedia. I'm telling you, because I know you and I have had a conversation about you eat certain, if you're angry, you're attracted to certain foods. If you're sad, you're
Yeah.
attracted to certain foods. You got to do that. We could go on and on. And I don't know how you want to, if there's something you want to share with us to close this out, because I'm aware that we've been on for about 35, 40 minutes, but I want you to share a little bit, and then we'll come back. I'm going to put this information in the feed so you guys will have it, and then we'll come back, because, you know, you talked about what to eat to deal with certain issues, and what not to eat to help tamp down those issues. So I definitely would like to come back and have a conversation about that. You guys contact me, put in the feed what you want to know about, so I'll make sure I get your questions answered as well. So is there anything you would like to, a note you'd like to end on, Kristopher?
You know what? Angel, I would just like to tell your audience, or the people that's watching or will watch, first rule of success: listen to your intuition, listen to God's voice within you. Because if we can never tap into that, we can't go wrong. So, you know, that's step one. So even if whatever I've said, or you know, that it ain't the truth, you're into it, you're listen to God's voice. That's really the success. And if what I've said sort of resonates with you, or if it sort of makes sense, then try it and go for it, you know, and do your, you know, you know, if you want health, you got to sometimes study health. If you want wealth, study wealth, you know, and practice the laws or principles that go with it. And just take it one step. Even if you're not ready to be 100%, just start bringing the good stuff in. Start eating more raw. Start drinking more green juice. Start being more conscious of what you're bringing in your body, what you're drinking, what you bring in. And always read labels. And when you know you've Beelzebub, when you know you've done some things that you've eaten something you ain't had, or drunk something, then you got to sort of, okay, tomorrow I got to make up for it. I got to go and work out, or I got to go on a 3-day juice fast or something like that. You got to do something to mitigate for what you did before. But yeah, you know, put self-care, self-love, self-respect are like one big, you know, bind. And you just, yeah, that's what this is. This is just a path of self-love.
And you know what? And it's so interesting. You said self-care, self-love, self-respect. They kind of like, are that 3 core being: self-care, self-love, self-respect. And it's so, if you start to think about respecting your body by what you put into it, what you allow into all of these entry points, your ears, your mouth, your eyes, your nose, when you start saying, you know what, I respect myself, my temple so much that I'm not going to put garbage into it. Then you start thinking about things like that, it might be a little bit easier to not eat a bowl of Doritos or whatever, or a whole platter of rib tips, or watch horror movies nonstop. Who Shot John? So, you know, I think that what you're saying just makes so much sense. And it's really attainable, guys. It's approachable, it's doable. So we'll just continue to get on and share. Chris, hopefully you will just continue to keep coming back, because you again are a walking encyclopedia, and the whole idea is to help heal the world.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. And it's my pleasure. And thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you. God bless you. Love
God
you. Appreciate
love
you
you. Yes.
so much. All right. Thank you again. I will look forward to talking with you guys soon. Let us
Yes.
know if you have questions. We'll get them answered. All right.
Yeah.
Take care. Honor yourself. Love yourself. Respect yourself. And have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye, Angel. Take care, Angel.
Thanks. Bye now.